in the district.
Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom Labaharim. All right. And Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom. First and foremost, which is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Ba'ashem, which means in the name of Yahweh Shai's name, and the only begotten Son who was sent to deliver the children of Israel from their sins. Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash means in the name of the Holy Spirit, which is the volume of the book, the Spirit of truth. Shalom Labaharim, peace to the elect. That's the men, women, and children whose names are written in the book of life, who's ordained to be delivered in these last days. All right, and I want to speak on really the name of the video, the title of the video, which I'll probably change it, should be The Sacrifice. There was a brother that came up yesterday. He said he was has known the fact of him being an Israelite for 9 years. He said 9-10 years. And when he came up, the first thing he mentioned was the Sabbath. I'm talking about yesterday's camp, and that's how our camp started, with our conversation and the dialogue between us and that brother that came up, and he said Shabbat Shalom, but I forgot that the Shabbat did switch over. I didn't forget. I'll just say this: the Most High put the Spirit on me to just ask him, like, what, in my mind, I'm thinking is, he knows what the Shabbat is, and he's saying, okay, Shabbat Shalom. And I'm like, nah, hold up. But I asked him, when do you keep the Shabbat? All right. And he told me, basically, without him saying, he said Friday night to Saturday night, right? Which, that is something that came from Amalek. All right. When you get into it, Saturnalia, the worship of Saturnalia, okay, basically exalting Saturday, the Saturn. All right. It goes back to a separate deity. Okay. When you really go into it. All right. But if someone keeps that and they're new into the faith, Friday night to Saturday night, sundown, and that's what they understand according to their measure at this point, at that point, then okay, by all means, at least you're trying. That's how we look at it, We're rehearsing the righteous acts. The law is not going to save you. And these are the things that I said to the brother. But one thing that I said to him, it seems as if he already knew that the Sabbath was dictated based upon a lunar calendar. He said, yeah, man, well, based upon, how it is in this society, this, that, and the third, in other words, he was alluding to, like, it's harder to keep it because of the calendar of this world, or the scheduling of this world, which he's right. And that's what I want to get into. All right. Because that mind frame of being ready to adjust based upon the season of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is the mind frame you need to be in, and not moving according to the fashion of Esau Edom. Okay? Because right now, everything is a status quo. Everything is moving along. You're able to go 9 to 5, this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying that brother's not thinking like this, but with the new moon Sabbath, all right, what the lunar calendar does, it makes you adjust to the seasoning or the seasons that's according to the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, okay, and not according to the fashion of this world. Because here it is right now, we're in the 7th day, about to go into the 8th day, right? In which by the time sundown happens here on the Eastern Hemisphere, the Eastern time frame of America, once the sun goes down, then we'll be in the Shabbat. Now, all week, you've been working 9 to 5, and you really haven't had a day off. And then all of a sudden, here come Friday, and you kind of could settle down or whatever the case is. But then, boom, you can't do nothing. You can't let your hair down. You can't pop your woman. You can't do the things that's according to your flesh. You can't seek for any form of pleasure right now. And I'm seeing the number 818, which that's spiritual, man. Okay? Because those numbers start with the new moon the first day and the 8th day, that's the 2nd day. All right? Those numbers are, I'm not going to get into that right now. But like I said, I got something brewing for, especially when it comes to numerology and the times that we live in, man. I'm just letting the spirit, give me the necessities to make that video edifying. All right? Because numerology is important. And when you get into the numerology of the lunar calendar, it shows you that it's the real deal. Okay? Now, going back, right now, it's Saturday. A lot of times your woman or your family, they may be doing particular events. People in America, Saturday, that's the day. I'm talking about, in particular, Saturday night. All right, Saturday night, because what? You got Sunday off. Okay? So when you got Sunday off, you could do it up. You can get twisted. Right? You could travel. You could do it up on a Saturday night. All right? And then you got all Sunday to relax and then recover so that Monday you were able to go back to work. But what if the Sabbath is Saturday night? Now what can you do? Now what do you got to do? You have to make a sacrifice. And that's what I said to the brother when he rolled up. I said, it's about making a sacrifice. He said, yeah, that's true. And you can watch it. It's in the very beginning of the last video prior to this one when we was on the highways and hedges. All right. GMS Assidians, Charles Village Live Camp. All right. You can see the dialogue. You can see the conversation. All right. But the point of the matter is that you have to sacrifice more when you keep in the lunar calendar. Why? Because it's not a calendar that's fashionable and suitable to the lifestyle of America. America is on the opposite spectrum of righteousness. Okay? When you tell people that you keep a lunar calendar, all right, that's where you get the word lunatic from, that you crazy. Why? Because you're moving off the vibration of the moon. All right, so people look at you like, huh? What? Nonetheless, the irony, if you will, about the lunar calendar is that if you're into agriculture and if you really want to understand seasons according to temperatures, according to climate, all right, people follow a lunar calendar. Period. Okay? You understand harvesting time? You understand when the spring is coming in? All right? Matter of fact, which we'll get into that book that the brother had mentioned and recommended for us, which I believe is a good read. I didn't watch it. I didn't read it yet, but it's called the Bible Through Western Eyes, I believe it's called. And when you look at let's say for instance, like the Arab world, which guess what? The Arabs, they're Hebrews. Okay? They're Shemitic. Okay? And the Arabs are people that are over there in the Middle East that are, if you want to talk about customs and culture, when it comes the closest to a ancient world lifestyle, it's them. And when you look at when they keep Ramadan, when is it? It's based upon the moon. Matter of fact, even the Chinese calendar has hints of the lunar calendar in it, which the Chinese, the Moabites, which they are, that's their name in the Bible. They come from Moab, one of the sons of Lot, right? Ammon, right? Which one of the sons of Lot. When you look at the calendar of the Chinese calendar, it has hints of the lunar calendar. Why? Because they're Shemites. They're Shemitic. They're Hebrews. Ooh, look at that. You see? Satan mad, man. Lifted up a tent. You know? Yeah, that wind is, getting snappy, man. And we living at the time close to the end. Hey, look, this is something I've always said as far as the importance of keeping a lunar, and that's why I didn't get into it with them prior, because when we on the highways and hedges, we trying to push Yahweh Shai. We pushing the prophecies. All right, you want to come around, you want to learn about the lunar calendar, we'll teach it. All right, but after we notice that you're seasoned and understanding of the blood of Yahweh Shai, understanding the testimony, understanding the body, understanding the bare essentials to salvation. All right? But outside of that, we'll speak on it briefly and then just keep it moving. Okay? Furthermore, if you were to get into a coma, right? Hypothetically, and then you would wake up out of that coma, and let's say all hell broke loose after you woke up out of that coma. How are you going to know when the Sabbath is? Okay? There's nothing that you can look at in the heavens that can tell you that it's actually Friday, that it's Saturday. However, in the heavens, you can identify you can identify the lights in the firmament of the moon and know what part of the month you're in. Period. All right? I'm going to close on that. Real quick, I'm going to close on that chapter and verse. This is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 43. I'm going to start from the top. The pride of the height, the clear firmament, the beauty of heaven with his glorious show. The sun, when it appeareth, declaring at his rising a marvelous instrument, the work of the Most High. At noon it parcheth the country, and who can abide the burning heat thereof? Right, you get close to the moon, you're going to burn yourself. All right, a man blowing a furnace is in works of heat, but the sun burneth the mountains 3 times more, breathing out fiery vapors and sending forth bright beams. It dimmeth the eyes. Great is the Lord that made it, and at his commandment runneth hastily. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times, right? I'm going to read it again. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration. What's a declaration? A declaring, an announcement. All right? Of times. And a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feasts, a light that declareth in her perfection. When does the feast come? All right, you have the first feast is what? The feast of unleavened bread, which comes in at the 15th day of the first month at the 14th day of the first month at evening, which is the 15th day, until the 21st day at evening. Okay? And the only way you know those numerical days is by what? Looking at the phases of the moon. Okay? It says what? Verse 8. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. Right? The month is called after her name. How do you declare the months? By the phases of the moon. The word moon and month are synonymous. That's where you get the word Monday from. The word Monday, that's why you say in Spanish, lunes. Lunes is the word moon, which goes back to the word month. Why? Because in Babylon, that represents the first day of the week, the moon day. Okay? It says the beauty of heaven, the glory of the star, but they don't follow after the phases of the moon. So therefore, the Monday or the moon day is not always the first day of the month. Okay? Or the first day of the week. All right? Being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven, the beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, an ornament giving light in the highest places of the Lord. At the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches. Right? Because if you follow the phases of the lunar calendar, what did it say? Sound like Zabak and them. What did it say? Come on. It said the beauty of heaven, the glory of stars, an ornament giving light, right? Verse 10, at the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches. All right? Meaning what? The phases of the moon will never go away. Esau got leap years and quantum years and different, all kind of hop, skips, and jumps when it comes to the new year and, all right, decades, and, you know, they reverse the clocks. They move the clock forward. You know, the phases of the time, the phases of what they conduct time with are out of course in this life. And that's the point. All right? So in order to keep it right, you're going to have to make a big sacrifice. And I'm going to close on that, man. Call Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakodah. Shalom.